Hey, how's it going? And today I'm going to show you how to create this, what I call cars at night. And this is actually a combination of a couple of tutorials that I've just recently done. When you're done, you end up with something like this where you got these cars. Let me hit Alt P. And so if I go, we've got our cars, and it's at nighttime here. And it's just a different environment. You know, it feels a lot different. Like I said earlier, that it's at night in Unreal Engine is a lot more fun than in the day. So it just, everything looks better. And this is just kind of fun and easy to do. I'm just trying to drive around and come at one of the cars because my camera's on the car, right? So it's actually behind the car, so I gotta kind of work my way to get a front shot here. So that's all I'm trying to do right here. I have like 3 cars. Here's somewhere, there's one. I try to slow down. That's just seeing how he goes. These headlights can be adjusted too, by the way. I mean, I just have them set. I just want to get you a good shot of what it looks like. Stop like right there, maybe right there, maybe back up so you can see the headlights. So this is all adjustable, of course. These headlights I have, they're not 100% perfect, but you get the idea of what it looks like. It looks a lot cooler than anything you could do in the daytime. And this doesn't take too long to do. It's pretty fun to do, and you can actually crash into some of these cars. But anyway, I'll be back in just a minute to show you how to do this. Hey, how's it going? And we're back and we're ready to get started. So we're just going to go launch. And as I mentioned before, this is actually a combination of a couple other tutorials that I've done just recently, and I'll put links to those in the description. And to do this, we're just going to go into games, blank, open world. We do want probably starter content just in case we want it later. And it just takes a minute to load up and we should be good to go. I had issues when I did this before. So starting here, there's the first thing I got to do, because this is a glitch I think in Unreal Engine right now, is I got to go into Windows, load layout, default layout, content drawer, and then this will dock in the layout, and I can dismiss that. And here we are, we're good to go. Okay, so this is picking up with the tutorial I just did on how to turn a daytime scene into a nighttime scene. And there's many ways to do this. This is just one way. I'm just going to go into edit first, project settings, and we're going to search for exposure. I'm just going to go through this fast because I've already done a tutorial on this, like I said. And we're going to turn off the auto exposure. Here's all of our lighting settings right here. And we're going to turn off the sky atmosphere. So we're just going to search for visible. We're not going to delete it. We're just going to turn it off. And you'll see right away that it makes a difference. But I just remembered something before I get carried away with the lighting, is we need to bring in the car before we do this, because it'll, for some reason, if you set the lighting right now, I just remembered that when we bring in the car, it resets it back to default, and I don't know why it does that. So let's go get that taken care of first and make sure that that's not going to erase our atmosphere settings, and I don't know why it does that. So we're going to add feature content pack. We're going to go to vehicle, and we're going to add to project. And this is going to require a restart. So we need to enable the plugin, and then we got to restart now. So this is a restart that we got to do, and we can save this as untitled. And now it's going to restart. And here we go again. So this is project 12. And here we go. So now we have our car in here. We don't want to drag it into the scene. But let's go ahead now that we've got that enabled and that all set up, that let's go ahead and check our lighting here. So now we're going to go and turn off the sky atmosphere. So let's go visible and turn that off and see if it affects our, and it does. So we get this, and let's hit play and make sure it stays. It does. Great. And then let's go ahead and drag sports car into the scene. There's a pawn right there. And you'll see that it looks like it has headlights on it, but I don't know how, I think it's just a luminous material that's not actually a spotlight. that I can tell. So anyway, let's go ahead. It seems like all our settings are staying. So let's just go ahead and quickly set this up. Now I turned off auto exposure already. So we can go into exponential fog. And this is really important actually, this volumetrics here. So we'll go volumetric and turn on the volumetric fog. Then clear that out so we have access to all the settings in here. Let me make this window a little bit bigger. Here for the fog, let's try, one might be too much. Like if you really wanted to do like coastal city, that might be a good setting. Do point, let's play with the fall off. And these are all, you know, you can put them at whatever you want to put them at, but I'm just going what seems right to me. And I think that's good for that. And so we got our fog set. And then on a directional light, for those settings, the lux, I think we can do 0.15. And see how the light comes off to the side, but then there is no sun, but we see the light coming from the sun. But there is no physical sun in the sky. It almost could pass for the moon, to be honest with you. So if you wanted to color this like a blue color, like toward the blue, you could play around with just doing that and just assuming that there's a moon up there underneath the clouds. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you could do this. You know, it's completely up to you, really. So, but let's just go ahead and I'm going to just make it more black. So this particular color, I'm just bringing it down. But what we want to do on this is we want to position this like up at the top of the apex of the sky, basically. So we'll go 90 and the negative 90, and now it's out of the way, and it's just providing this generalized lighting to the scene. But remember, you know, at night your eyes are going to adjust to seeing it dark. I was just talking to somebody about that the other day, is that we can see in the dark, not pitch dark, but we have our abilities, we have the ability to see at night, you know. And like I said before, you know, we can also see into the shadows. So here are these, I believe these are materials, dynamic materials, because if you hit the brake light, let's see if I hit play, if I lose anything here. Oh, I haven't enabled the thing yet. So, okay. So we're good here, I think. And then what we're going to do is, that's dark enough for me. I also mentioned about the temperature here with just a slight blue cast, so maybe 6,800, just to give that feel of moonlight that a lot of people associate with nighttime. And all those values are adjustable. So with all this set now, we need our world settings, and I don't see that. So we're going to go up to Windows, and we're going to go to World Settings here. And under Game Mode, we're going to switch it to the Vehicle Game Mode and save that. And I don't know. Let's not save it. Let's just hit play. And there is our car right there. But now, and everything's cool, right? Except we don't have any headlights. You see that? We have brake lights, but no headlights. I'm hitting the brakes right there. So now what are we going to do? You see it, and it looks like there's some material there, but that's not real headlights. So let's do this. Let's escape. That's the last thing we're going to try to do here, is we're going to go into the, double click on the pawn here, and we'll go into the viewport. We'll pull out a little bit, and we're going to go add, and we'll search for a spotlight here. There's one right there. And let's go ahead and adjust this if we can. Just pull it up, pull it forward. Right, it might be easy. Sometimes it's easier to go into the top view so we can see where we're at here. Okay, that's good. Maybe up a little bit more. And then with that all done, the intensity's all the way. So jack that up all the way. And I think maybe we want this to come out a little bit more. Maybe more where the headlight is, like right there. You'll just have to play around with this. Doesn't have to be perfect. but maybe where you can see the whole cone. And then you can play around with all these settings, like the volume of the cone. And I know you're not supposed to have lights overlap each other, but in this particular case, it's virtually impossible not to do that. So then all we're going to do then is we're going to click on this spotlight and hit Control D and make another one, and then just drag that over to the other side. And then we should have our 2 spotlights. And that's 100,000 too. So let's go ahead and hit compile and save. Go back into the level, hit play. And there you can see, if I hit click and go, now we've got some headlights. And if we want to kind of see what it looks like, you can kind of see where they're crossing over there. So, you know, we might want to play around with those settings because that doesn't quite look. Maybe it looks like I need to back them up a little bit. So, but you get the idea of how we could get the headlights. But let me try to play with these a little tiny bit more. Let me bring them up. I'm just looking at the values here. It looks like 80. So I'll just adjust it numerically here. 80. And maybe on the, not on the attenuation, maybe on the outer cone angle, I'll bring it down a little bit more. Something like that. What is it when I have that? 15. So like I said, you can just play around with all these. I haven't fully experimented with them all. Compile and save. Let's see what that looks like. Play. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. So if you want to get a better look at them, it actually looks like you can come down. I thought it took too high. So that you can drag a pawn on and look at its headlights. So then let's hit play. And it gives you a way to kind of assess, you know, where you want the lights to be exactly. So it looks like maybe they can come down a little bit more. And then if you want to go in and adjust other things, like if we come back to the volumetric lighting, we can go to our fog and go on the details panel here, and let's see, which it's this one here, the density. We can bump the density, I believe, to 0.4. Maybe let's go higher, 0.5. Let's even go higher than that, 0.6. And you can play around with some of these values to see. Oh, we're in play mode there. So let me go back on the height fog here. Oh, it didn't adjust my settings. So let me try 0.5. So obviously the higher this value is, the more beam we're going to get. So you could really set it up that it's a foggy day there. Okay, I think that's a nice effect right there. That looks like it's a 1. So hit this play. And if I just take off driving, it's such a totally different environment. See that? So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Take care, have a great day, and I will talk to you next time.